Hey guys, Tomboy601, and today we're taking a look at Niord, the second campaign ship. This update basically you choose between this and Mine Gumo, and I have a feeling you probably won't be choosing this one because Niord is a very interesting pan-European battleship. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to show off the stats, show off the build, and then show off a game in the ship. If that sounds good to you, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and let's dive on in. And first things first, really there is only one option for a Niord build, and that's going to be Janko Volcic. We have gone ahead and built a second preset for him because well, we needed a little bit of a change. So we're running Kondo and D-Revel. They're kind of my default commanders that I'll go to. Then we have his unique skill, which is called Reckless Gunman. It's going to reduce the reload time on your guns. Very nice. Crisscross for better turret traverse, Firefighter, Master Mechanic, and running with scissors. As far as the build goes, we're running Aiming System Mod 1, Propulsion Mod, the good old Concealment System, and then finally Main Battery Mod 3. As far as consumables go, well, you got the Damage Control Party, then you have the Repair Party, 345 health for 28 seconds, gives you around 10,000, 9,600 health recovered each repair time. You get 5 charges of that, so you can heal back about 50,000 health if you use every single heal perfectly, which is a decent amount of health. Then you have the sonar, 4.6 or 3.3 on torpedo acquisition, 4.7 on ships, and you have 2 charges of that. And then finally, you have the enhanced secondary targeting, and you get 3 charges of that. As far as the stats go, let's go ahead and start. 63,900 hit points with an armor thickness between 18 and 360 millimeters and torpedo reduction of 20%. Let's go ahead and take a look at the armor, and she is fairly well armored. If you can angle correctly in Nord, she's a tanky ship. We can go ahead and get down to that Citadel, which is right at the water line, so kind of right where you need to be. Overall, a very tanky ship, which can be used to your advantage. The problem comes in what comes with the primary weapons. So first off, you do have the main guns. 4 2-barreled 380 millimeter guns, 17 kilometer range, 18.7 second reload time, which is really good. It's a fast firing ship. The problem, the performance on the shells, not the best. Also, as far as accuracy goes, it tends to be all over the place. Sometimes it is pinpoint accurate, other times not so much. HE damage is 4,400 with a 34% chance to set fire. AP damage is 11,600. And usually with a ship like this, you would expect the secondaries to be really good. They are not. 6 2-barreled 120 millimeter guns, 5.2 kilometer base range. Not great. Initially, I took this ship out with a full secondary build. I do not recommend that. It just does not. It is not worth investing in the secondaries, and that's because what they basically did with Niord is say, you know what, we're going to take all of the points out of secondaries, and we're going to put them into the torpedoes, which are pretty good. 4 5-barreled 533 millimeter torpedoes with a range of 14 kilometers, which is greater than this ship's concealment. Pretty good. They are pan-European torps, so they're very fast, 86 knots, but don't punch very hard. 10,700 damage per torp at tier 8, where you see a pretty substantial torpedo reduction. In the torpedo belts, you get to see just how ineffective a singular torpedo hit will be. So you kind of have to balance these out. Reload time on those torpedoes, 140 seconds, and the detectability is 1.8 kilometers. A nice thing about this ship is it does have pretty good AA defense. Max range of 5.2 kilometers, so not huge. Also, the chance of running into a legendary tier carrier, not very high, but you do sometimes run into some tier 7s, so nice overall. Maneuverability 32 knots, which is very good. Turning circle radius 840 meters and a rudder shift time of 14.2 seconds. Finally, concealment 12.2 kilometers. Detectability by air 10.2. So pretty decent overall. One other thing I think I didn't really dive into: 180 turn time on the main guns, 22.8 seconds, which is very good. It's like we've built it for that, and it is responsive to that. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a game in Niord. So welcome to Haven, and I guess welcome to the Niord, a very interesting other campaign ship. I think this is definitely going to be the least popular one, but if you did want to acquire both of the ships during this campaign, of course, you can pick one for free with the free Admiralty backing, and then the other one will only cost you 25,000 doubloons. So a lot. Anyways, you see us launch off our first rack of torpedoes there. Niord is a very interesting ship. The torpedoes feel like they are just as good as the main armament, but they can also sort of let you down. Anyways, Dallin pops up here, and you're going to get an example of what Niord is good at, which is engaging cruisers. The guns against cruisers are pretty good, as you just saw right there. And we got a very good salvo as far as grouping goes. That doesn't always happen, but you kind of have to be prepared. And the other nice thing about Niord is its fire rate. 20 seconds. It feels not quite cruiser levels, but it sort of gets there. It is a very odd ship overall. The guns probably only really AP-wise very effective against cruisers. You kind of want to use HE on battleships most of the other time, but you'll see things now and then. Anyways, we totally fluke that shot on Dallin. He realizes what sort of messed up game he has encountered into, and I think he's going to go ahead and start trying to hide in smoke. The torpedoes on Niord, they're interesting. I think the biggest downside to Niord is, if we were to take, if we were the dev and we had to put points into certain things to get the stats that we got, they put a lot of points into the torpedoes on Niord. The problem is they are incredibly exposed torpedoes. I cannot think of a single game where they didn't get knocked out in a key moment, or something like that, or a lot of the times they were getting destroyed on me. It's just, they are at the widest part of the ship in the middle of the ship. So if you receive some HE spam, like you're probably going to do at the tier in a battleship, then you're gonna be kind of in danger, if you will, when it comes to having your torpedoes still working at the end. Anyways, we pick up a hit with the torpedoes there. Unfortunately, they are the pan-European ones, and because of that, they're not exactly the most damaging of torpedoes. One nice thing about the build is we do have that relatively fast turret traverse speed, which allows us to kind of transition from side to side. 3 of the turrets are biased towards the nose, so they will follow you in a tack position as we eat a very dumb torpedo that we've had spotted for the last God knows however many minutes, and we just chose not to avoid it. We were being dumb. But the turrets are really nice. The front 2 and the rearmost turret are all able to spin in the forward direction. I think the rearmost turret might be a 360, but what that means is you can easily transition from targets when you're pushing into them on the left and right side. It's only the third turret, the closest one to the middle in the rear, that's going to present you some problems when you are, shifting targets from left to right. Anyways, Republic is here. We've been spotting him with our sonar. We'll go ahead, drop off the torpedoes as the Montana finishes him off. Ohio has us spotted here. We're like, okay, we'll drop those torpedoes to him. Realistically, if you look on the minimap, we probably should have saved those torpedoes for the battleship, for the Conqueror that is in the mid right now, as we are going to start taking the secondary fire from the Ohio, and you're going to see it starts to disable our torpedoes and knock them out. Like I said, it is just something you end up dealing with on this ship, as we also get another set of torpedo tubes knocked out. They're incredibly vulnerable. And at this point, I realized, oh wait, we should probably really concentrate on this Conqueror. So Ohio ends up eating 2 of those torpedoes. We're going to try and finish off Conqueror here, and we get a single pen and not much damage there. It is what it is, but Ohio is definitely focusing on us. We're losing a good chunk of health, so we're going to try and take this opportunity to bow out, not give him a broadside to look into, but, you know, start to strategically use those heals. Since he's moving forward, we should be able to kind of cut this engagement as he moves behind that island. Also, we have a legendary, our legendary Montana friend, more willing to take this engagement, and we will cut off and try to get a different angle, because it really doesn't help if we were following in this Montana's footsteps. We will drop some torpedoes off, and maybe they will be able to do something, but we will just kind of have to wait and see on that. So, Niord. Guns, like I think you've seen so far, against battleships, which is a lot of time what you're going to come up against, they're not great. The torpedoes, really cool. Like, you could technically stealth launch them, but you're going to need ships to push into you or to never change course, which is kind of rare. And if even at that, once they get to these ranges, you're probably only going to hit 1 or 2 of those torpedo hits, which is only a couple thousand damage. Not great. So the damage potential in Niord is suspect. It's not something you can 100% rely on, and you kind of have to try and make plays where you can. So, you know, the build for Niord, the themes that it tells you with its stats are, hey, play me at kind of range, right? I have torpedoes that are good at range. They're fast. They should be able to get to people in a relatively good amount of time. Play me at range. But in reality, you have incredibly short secondaries. You have torpedoes that don't do a lot of damage, that have a decent amount of spread, even in narrow. You have guns that the AP isn't the best, where you should probably, at this point, be firing HE, but hey, when are we going to learn? And you have torpedo tubes that get knocked out fairly easily. So overall, not a great picture. But then you get into moments where, oh, hello, Mr. Maine. I see you are coming close on our left-hand side, which has fully loaded torpedoes. And given our proximity at 4 kilometers, you know, the time on target for those torpedoes is only 10 seconds. You're not going to be really able to change your fate to steer out of the way of these torpedoes when they get to you in 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and just empty those torpedo tubes. Thank goodness he didn't try to ram us, or else this wouldn't be great. And there you go. Down he goes. But you saw, not exactly the dev strike. I mean, yes, we got the dev strike, but like, he could have easily sustained that if it was a 1v1 fight. At this point, you're going to see us go down because I'm being a bit dumb with just sailing out here and not respecting the fact that I'm spotted and should be using our sonar. But hey, it is what it is, guys. This is the Niord. Overall, I think it's a decent ship. It's okay. Between it and Mangumo, unless you really, really want a weird battleship that, you know, there's only one commander for, it doesn't really play that well to me. It's weird, but it's not the kind of weird that I'm going to go back and play repeatedly, unfortunately, because you know, Mangumo is a strong ship. So, guys, if you want to have the collector ship, the one that not many people are ever going to pick up, you're not going to see out there, go grab Niord with your free campaign. If you want a relatively strong DD, Mangumo is probably going to be your ticket. Anyways, guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.